Listen carefully, because this may be the most important truth you have heard in years. You were not born just to survive, not to wake up tired, not to carry stress like a permanent weight, not to live in quiet fear of what might go wrong. And yet, somewhere along the way, that became your life, not by choice, not by intention, but by repetition. Day after day, responsibility piled on your shoulders. Pressure became normal. Worry became routine. You learned to endure. You learned to push through. You learned to survive. But survival was never meant to be your destination. It was only supposed to be a phase, a temporary state, a bridge. And if you stay in survival too long, it begins to feel like identity. You begin to believe, this is just how life is. This is just who I am. This is all there is. But listen to me. That is not truth. That is conditioning. There is something deeper inside you, something stronger, something that has been waiting patiently for you to remember it. You were made for more clarity, more purpose, more control over your life. And the moment you truly accept that, everything begins to change. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not distracted, not busy, alive. Most people cannot answer that question because they have spent years operating on autopilot, reacting instead of creating, surviving instead of building. But today that changes because you are about to take your life back, not all at once, not in a dramatic moment, but through a series of decisions, small decisions, powerful decisions, the kind of decisions that reshape your thinking. And when your thinking changes, your life follows. Here is the first truth you must accept. Your life is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, not your occasional thoughts, not your hopes, but your dominant, repeated thinking patterns. If your mind is filled with stress, your life reflects stress. If your mind is filled with fear, your life reflects limitation. But if your mind becomes focused, disciplined, directed toward purpose, then your life begins to reflect power. So the question is not what is happening in your life. The real question is what is happening in your mind, because that is where everything begins. There was a man in his late 40s. From the outside, his life looked stable, a steady job, a routine, a predictable future. But inside, he was exhausted, mentally drained, emotionally worn. He felt trapped, not by circumstances, but by his own thinking. Every day he told himself, I have no choice. I'm stuck. It's too late to change. And those thoughts became his reality until one day something shifted, not outside, inside. He asked a different question. Not, why is this happening to me? But, what can I do about it? That question changed everything because it moved him from victim to creator. And that is your second mindset shift. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your response. Read that again, because this is where your power begins. You may not control everything that happens, but you always control how you respond. And your response determines your direction. The man began to take small actions. He didn't quit everything overnight. He didn't make reckless decisions. He started with his mind. Each morning, he replaces old thoughts with new ones. I have options. I can improve. I can change my direction. At first, it felt unnatural, even uncomfortable, but he persisted. Day by day, those new thoughts grew stronger, and something remarkable happened. His stress began to decrease. His confidence began to return. His perspective began to expand, not because the situation changed immediately, but because his thinking did, and eventually his actions followed. That is how transformation works, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Now here is your third mindset shift. Clarity comes from action, not overthinking. Most people stay stuck because they wait for clarity. They wait until everything makes sense, until they feel certain, until they feel ready. But that moment never comes. Clarity is not found in thinking. It is created through doing. So if you feel stuck, move, take action, even small action. because movement breaks stagnation. Let me give you a practical exercise. Simple, powerful. Tonight, take a piece of paper and write down 3 things. What is causing you the most stress right now? What is one action you can take to improve it? When will you take that action? Not someday, not later. Be specific, because when you turn a problem into an action, you regain control. Now let us talk about fear. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone. But most people misinterpret fear. They see it as a stop sign. It is not a stop sign. It is a doorway. On one side, comfort, predictability, safety. On the other side, growth, opportunity, expansion. And you must choose, because you cannot grow and stay comfortable at the same time. Now here is your 4th mindset shift. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of fear. Every successful person you admire felt fear, but they acted anyway. And that action changed their identity. Because identity is not fixed. It is built through repeated behavior. Every time you act with courage, you become more courageous. Every time you act with discipline, you become more disciplined. This is how you evolve. Now, let us talk about discipline, because discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Motivation will not carry you. It fades. It fluctuates. But discipline stays. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And that is where freedom is built, not in comfort, but in consistency. Create a simple structure. Wake up with intention. Set a clear goal for the day. Take one action that moves you forward. Do it daily, not perfectly, but consistently. Because success is not built in a single moment. It is built in repetition. Now, let us talk about purpose. Because without purpose, you drift, you react, you survive. But with purpose, you direct your life. Purpose does not have to be complicated. It can be as simple as, I want to build a better future. I want to become stronger. I want to create something meaningful. What matters is that it matters to you. Write it down. Read it daily. Let it guide your decisions. Because purpose gives meaning to effort, and meaning creates motivation. Now here is your 5th mindset shift. You are not too late. You are right on time. At this stage of your life, you have something powerful. Experience. You have seen what works. What doesn't? You have learned lessons. Some easy, some painful. And those lessons are assets. You are not starting over. You are starting wiser. And that gives you an advantage. Do not waste it. Use it. Build on it. Now imagine this. 5 years from now, you look back at this moment. You remember how you felt, the stress, the fear, the uncertainty, and you see the decision you made, the decision to change your thinking, the decision to take action, the decision to stop surviving and start building, and you feel proud because that decision changed everything. That future is possible, but it requires action, not tomorrow. Today, start small, take one step, then another, and keep going, because momentum is built through movement, and movement creates change. You were not made to live in constant stress. You were not made to live in fear. You were not made just to survive. You were made to grow, to build, to become, and that process begins now, not when everything is perfect, not when you feel ready. Now. So stand up mentally, take control of your thoughts, direct your actions, and move forward, because your life is waiting for you to claim it. Powerful closing call to action. Right now, you are at a decision point. You can continue as you were, or you can begin something new, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, a new way of living. Do not let this moment pass, because moments like this do not come often. They come when you are ready, and you are ready. So take one step, then another, and build the life you know you are capable of. Remember this. It is never too late to rise. It is never too late to grow. And it is never too late to build the life you truly deserve. If this message inspired you, help us inspire others. Please like this video and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Together we can spread strength, wisdom, and purpose